Gamers, today we got Whamen. She's back. And she's gonna be getting coached to Conqueror 3.
Like, we've come such a long way. I've been cruising in Conq 1 for such a long time.
She's ready to make that final ladder push into Conq 3. So she's been like Conq 1, Diamond 3, Diamond 2, Conq 1, Diamond 3, Diamond 2, Diamond 1.
Plat 3, Diamond.
Right.
It happened.
So not very consistent. So a little bit all over the place. Consistently around that, but not consistently Conqueror 1. So she's gonna be playing English, HRE, and Byzantines, the weakest civilization.
Yeah.
But they're very similar in style, so that's good. At least she's not playing like China and then French and then like Mongol, because those are, you know.
A little wild.
So we're going to be reviewing 2 replays today. And we're going to see what went wrong. Her build most likely needs to change into Abby. So she's going to be needing to do King. Yeah, well, this Council Hall is like a beginner build. So she's going to learn, adapt, and overcome. Thank you. No, I want to play like the Noob Council build forever. Well, it doesn't work. But let's see, maybe it works if you did something different. She's stressed. She's like, I don't want to make a king. It's okay.
I don't want to make a king.
It auto-makes.
No, but I'm going to lose him.
Okay, Deer Star. That's alright. It's not a big deal. Especially on this map. We like that. Okay, here's a Screech. Now, the problem with this is if he pushes away your deer, it becomes very not worth, you know?
I put them into position there.
That's good. But if he was actually like active, he could have ruined all that, and then you're like, ugh.
But,
okay.
So I
he
scouted
opened
that,
Horseman, check W.
It's been a very common opening, I'd say. So I put 4 in gold here, and I have a question about that as well.
You're going wheelbarrow build. Okay.
Yes. Because
that's fine against Mongol.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Because I've been struggling in like standard matchups against Mongol.
Well, you are going Abby.
Yeah, I'm going Abby for this one. That's what I'm saying. I haven't been able to win against Mongols in normal.
This makes a lot of sense why you can't win, because opening these 2 combined. Are you going into army or are you going into what?
Army and just outscaling.
Okay. Okay. I would suggest you just age up first, because this wheelbarrow is... It's more valuable to get the king out. Okay. So you can actually start harassing and stuff. It's a lot of sheep.
Yeah.
So, nothing wrong with getting wheelbarrow, but it's better to have this like 60% complete now. Because now this is causing a lot of problems. And yeah. It's okay, you move back. You can see the workers. Spawn food. Okay. Let's see. You don't... Okay, you see 1 trade. I would probably scout the rest of the map just to know where the stuff is and to see how you're gonna be moving through the middle, because it's all walled. So he managed to lose the horseman, so that's nice. Abby with 4, okay. So you can't do Abby into like longbow spearman, but Abby into 2TC is really, really good.
Even against Mongols?
Yeah, against NC.
Really?
Yeah. I was actually discussing this earlier. There's no matchup where I would go Council Hall.
Okay.
I would always go.
Even English versus English?
This is just no. You don't do that. That is no. You're just playing without 1 villager now.
I know.
Doesn't matter what you do here. Even if you full wall this, you can just trade here, and this is not worth. And then because you have less units, you can just come and destroy it, and you just wasted like 200 wood, and the villager probably died meanwhile. So don't ever do that.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what city you're playing against. It's not worth it. Okay, Horseman, Spearman. So what is your goal here? To just push the trade?
Basically to pressure the trade constantly.
You scouted he is going trade? Okay, you saw the landmark. Okay.
So basically I scouted he was going trade, so I figured I'd just go for horse and king and just deny the first trade or 2. And get my eco upgrades at the same time, as you can see, so that I can stay with them economically. I didn't know how much damage those would do to a clan, so I just tried it.
With 1 horse, that's it. Okay, -1 villager, that's good. Now you just gotta now lose stuff, and this is good start right here. You lost the villager here, and you killed one, so that's even trade. Okay, scout. Love that. Spearman. Okay. If you're going this, I would skip horseman. Because this is not, it's not doing it. And you know there's Keshik, so you don't want to make horsemen into Keshik. So if you're gonna do this, just do archer range barracks and then get upgrades and make units. Because yeah, this there's no need for that. Don't know why that's there. I guess for gold.
Yeah.
If you're all inning, so you have to decide if you're all inning or not. If you're all inning, you don't need more gold. Did you get double broadaxe?
Yes.
Yeah. And okay, you didn't get this. So if you get this, and you get +1/+1, you don't need more gold. So this tower is again. It's a,
so I'm never gonna make money on.
if he's making Keshiks, no. If you're playing against French and they're making knights, you don't.
Yeah, no. But if he's going for a lot of archers, what do I do?
You have longbows. Your longbows are better.
Okay.
So you just kite his ass. I mean, at some point, if he's making like pure archers, and you have, you know, you can make men-at-arms, then you can just put on gold. But getting gold this early is there's no need. Because again, these are 3 villagers that could have been gathering something else.
I got that for upgrades as well. So in my mind, I'm going for upgrades. Is that not something that's worth it?
I mean, you're pretty much done. Like I said, you get this, that's 100 gold. You have 200 gold remaining. You need like 40 gold to get all the upgrades you need. Because you have double broadaxe, and you just need +1/+1. Those are the most important ones. Yeah, this is a lot of idle builds. You want to avoid building with multiple unless it's like super urgent. Yeah, 5 in gold is too many. Because you're not going to have equal to support it. So, yeah, horseman into Keshik, I would stray away from it. Because there's the Mareka. This is what I call the Mareka Tower. Where she builds a tower and then she goes and puts the worker to mine stone.
He has to work. He has to earn his keep.
It's so funny. Because you've been doing this for like a year now, and I called it Mareka Tower and it's still there. So all this is fine. We like that. This, we like that.
Yeah, I felt like this. The early game went well. Like this.
But why is this? See, like you're trying to harass too much. Just fight him. Like just you can literally kill his horse. This game is over, by the way. If you just put these units together, this game is over.
Really?
Because he would lose this, and then look at the army supply. It would be like 8 versus 19, and he is behind. The trade is blocked, and it's over.
Okay, so I should just not split up my army for no reason.
You should never split up your army as English.
Okay.
That is the #1 thing about English. You don't split your army. You don't harass with English. Your army is better one-on-one. And now all these guys are gonna die, these guys are gonna die, and then these guys are gonna come and die or not do anything. To this point, I would, like, if this was my game, you're so far behind, this is probably just a loss from this point on, whatever you do. Because now that you have no way of contesting the trade. So the game is over. The one thing you cannot do as English is get caught off guard like that. You need to keep your army together and not lose any of it.
Okay.
And because you're keeping your army together most of the time, horsemen are not good. If you played against like Abbasid or something, maybe you can go horsemen with king. Or depends on the matchups. But if you're playing against knights or Keshiks, you wanna horsemen are okay, but you need to micro really, really well to get a lot of value from them.
Okay, and I'm not.
I would just stick to spearman longbow.
Okay.
Like this tower, if it was like here or here, it will give you so much value because you can just, in order to block trade, you don't need to block it here. You can also just block it here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And a tower here not only gives you vision, you block the trade, and it also gets for main fights.
Okay.
So you can see too much gold already, even with all the upgrades. And his Keshik count is 6, which is quite a lot. So if you make men-at-arms now, the Keshiks will trade a lot better versus you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like so risky. Like what you should be doing this with just horsemen. Because if he catches you, again the game is over. Like that.
That's exactly what I think.
Yeah. This is the only time you engage with English is there's another one. The only time you engage with English is when you're sure you can win the fight. And after losing the fight, you're not gonna win the fight. So once you lose the first fight, what you need to do is take these horsemen run them here, okay, and then his army goes there, and then you can take your infantry, make a tower, and attack here. You don't even attack, you just stand there and kill the traders. And then you put your rally point here. So then, doesn't matter what he chooses, he's going to be losing shit somewhere. And if you take 5 horsemen and a king, he's going to need to take a lot of units to defend that. If he takes just spearmen, you can run around. If he sends Keshiks, then you're fighting spearmen archers here with your longbows, so you're fine.
Okay, so I think the main issue was then me splitting up my army early on, using them, and just thinking, oh, I need to harass, not just take it back.
Yeah, with horsemen you gotta be active. You're attacking in like the spot where you're attacking with your units with your horsemen, which is
Not good plan.
you might as well just make longbows instead of that. And you're making more horsemen here, which if you're doing this kind of style and you lose horsemen, remaking them is it takes a long time to build up. Another thing is you cannot make men-at-arms until you have at least 16 farms. Otherwise your economy is going to be too bad. So right now making the men-at-arms is going to... If you start making them, it's you can't afford it.
I don't know, do you have a pen?
Somewhere?
No. I had one job. To bring a pen.
Breaker, bring a pen and a notebook. Pen doesn't work. At least notebook works.
Okay, so you're saying 16 farms before it is.
Like, it's not a hard rule, but you simply cannot produce before that. Okay, this fight was better for you. But like I said, against a good player, you should never win from here on out.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, losing this first army... I don't know if you remember... Do you remember King of Dry Arabia?
No, what was that?
Me versus Wham on Dry Arabia, English versus Mongol. I played Mongol. He had a massive army. He lost it once, and after that, I just, like, mowed down his whole army. So that's how the games should look like as you rank up. The Mongol player... Now the best thing to do as Mongol is just keep making units in masses and just keep trading, because he's so far ahead.
Okay, question now. Instead of all this, I could have just gone for 2 TC.
Yeah, but you would still have to attack. You can't just not fight. But trade takes a bit to arrive, and then you have a king to, like, harass a bit before the first trader comes out, and then cash. It's a very, like, simple process. You go 2 TC, king pops. You go for the trade. You block the silver tree or the market with your scout. The king arrives. So his Kashik arrived. You run them this way. Your king arrives here. Then the trade comes out. Your king can harass. He's always going to make Kashik, because he's not going to make spearmen, because that's dumb. Because then the spearmen is never going to catch. He makes Kashik.
Less than 3.
When your second DC finishes, you make barracks. When he sees barracks, he's going to go archers. When he goes archers, you go longbows. And then you're in a position where you're fighting Kashik archer versus spearman longbow, but you're both booming, but his eco is way more exposed.
Yeah.
Yours is not at that point. Like, he can't dive DCs with Kashiks. They're gonna fucking evaporate. And also longbows are very good against Kashik. So all you need to do is not lose your mass army, like your huge mass of units. If that happens once the game is over. So the best thing you can do as English is learn how to keep that together. I can actually show you a game I played earlier against an English guy. He was Conqueror too, and he did some things wrong, but one thing he did very well is not engaging. Okay. What I would do here is, again, villager, I would even wall this. This is such an annoying wall for him. Look at this. I can go here now, and if he goes all the way around, I can just cut him off, go through this little gate, and then I'm here. And he has to go all the way around. And he doesn't have permanent vision. So now, shoot and just run. You shouldn't run towards him. Always run away from him. Your target firing spearmen or war. So you should kite because you have more range. But see, even with all of that, you lost like 3 armies. Even with all of that, it's still equal and you can still win the game. So now, if this was the end of the fight, now you can make men-at-arms. Because you have reset the Kashik count, and now if you make 3 Kashik, with this amount of longbow, you can 2-shot them. So now making men-at-arms is good because majority of his army is archers, but you never want to make men-at-arms to start with, because then he doesn't even need archers. He can just go pure Keshik and kill you, which has happened in my games. So now you're in a good spot here. Now take this villager, make a tower there. That's good. Okay. See, now would be a good idea to like send a king and 2 horsemen if you already are making them. Send them here. Just like do a little bit of damage. And you don't need to commit. Like right now, this is what I would do. I go in right here. It's your vision, like. Go in right here. Okay. Okay, pop that. Pop that. Just go back now. Just go back. Now just go back. There's units coming. Just kill this and go back. Now you run back. You just run away. Obviously you shoot while moving, but you don't need to commit. You're committing again here. You're letting him, the archers, farm you. Don't ever target Farrakhan.
I was wondering, does the Khan give any information?
He already did the arrow, that's fine.
Okay,
if the Khan doesn't do arrow, you can try one-shot it. The moment it does arrow, the worst thing to attack is Khan, because what I do when I play, especially in castle, the moment I do arrow, I run Khan into the enemy units because it has a lot of health.
Oh.
And it wastes a lot of shots.
Okay, makes sense.
But if you can snipe the Khan before the fight, then it's very good for you. But yeah, he does like no damage. He does like fucking...
Okay, I thought he gives the bonus like a mech.
No.
Okay.
No, he just does... He did the arrow when his units went all yellow. Again, you're fighting here. These spearmen are getting wasted. They didn't even touch anything, and you could have achieved the same if you just ran away. He doesn't have deer stone, so he doesn't have movement speed on these towers, so you can just kite this. So more movement. Like this, but earlier. And also, a good way to kite in this position without Keshiks is not running through here now. Earlier would have been running through here. So, because he's going to lose vision maybe. Oh, he has a tower, but in general. But now, because he has no Keshiks, a good idea is to run through the trade like this. And just kill a trader on the way. Because now you're saying, even if I lose all the units, at least I'll just kill as many traders as possible.
No, that's kind of what I thought I would do.
And then you stop kiting. Right. So, now the eco count is the same. Now this is the thing. If you had 2 TC, this is a 1 game. You killed 7 traders, you killed a villager, I think, and you reset the cash accounts. This is very good for you. So now you would be able, with this, you can just do wall, 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 put like 20 from wood to gold, and you can just age up, and now you're 3 TC. And the game is over.
Okay.
But because you're 1 TC, you're very all in. The thing is, this is not a game over for him, because he's actively on 2 TC.
Yeah.
And you're not. So you need to actually do a lot more to win this. Here's the Marika Stone.
Yeah.
So you see how all these towers you made, not one survived, except the middle one, which is the one I said you should make. So now this is a good attack, but this attack should have been here 30 seconds ago. So when I'm fighting in this position, let's say, and I notice that army is forfeit, right? Like it's gonna die. I would run here into the trade, pick off the traders, and the moment I would see the army is forfeit, I would just select all idle army and just move it here on the map. So instead of you attacking now, right? Instead of you attacking now, this army should have been here when he was chasing you here. And if that's the case, then you're doing fuck ton of damage on both sides. And then you know what you do. You don't rally. This is when you get the tempo against Mongols. It's very obnoxious to play against this when you're a Mongol. So let's say you're now hitting here, and let's say his army is here. You don't do this. These units, you send them here, and you start rallying here. Even though his army is right there, you start rallying here. Because it's obvious he's going to come defend this. So what you do is you re-rally here. So when he arrives here, you hit the other side. And at that point, even if you're trading worse army-wise, unless you're getting obliterated, you're going to kill so many traders that it becomes worth.
It becomes like... yeah. I was like, I have no idea what to do.
I mean, in this position, you could have probably just aged up. Look at that gold. You could have probably just aged up and played onwards, because I think you did enough damage. The problem is you just wasted... That was a good attack. Not good kiting, but good attack. The rest of them, you just wasted a shit ton of units. Now you're like, just like he wants to keep his Keshiks and archers both alive, you want to keep your longbows alive. Your longbow mass is the strongest part. Look how much damage he's taking and not dying. He's doing shit. He's doing 4 damage. And he's got 115 health.
I'm really glad that I now know that it's not like a mech.
It was never a mech.
I know, but I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've never played against it properly without knowing what they do.
That's right. So all these towers that you made, like there was a tower here, there was another tower somewhere, I can't remember. These walls. Oh, you got wolf here. These walls. I mean, these walls are okay. You didn't wall too much compared to this. This tower, this mining could have been already an age up. That's how many resources you put into them. So, and you know, if you're like, but that's wood. It's, yeah, but you could have, you know, gathered something else. So it could have been an age up. Yeah. So only put the towers that are absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I'm a very tower heavy person. As you can see here, I'm target firing the pressure with the longbows. Is that correct?
Yeah. You don't, like, you can hide after this. And especially if you're producing this amount of men-at-arms, you should just kill Kesh, because they're the ones that should know. See, this is what I mean. This is why fighting here is good. You're forcing a fight that's somewhat equal distance between the players. You're not like here behind and you can just get flanked and die. But you're also stopping trade by just standing here. Look at that. He's just bleeding again. This needs to be kited immediately. When you notice you're in like the last few units, you need to start kiting. And he should have also moved into your archers when there's only 1-2 men remaining. Okay.
Now the Keshik numbers.
Yeah, you could have aged up. I'm surprised that. How many barracks do you have? You have a lot of barracks. And I would probably, like, if you're committing to full feudal and you have archer range, not council, I would probably go like 4 archer ranges, 2 barracks or something. Because you want the men-at-arms to tank, but your DPS is longbows. And if you don't have those, you ain't gonna do much.
I think I'm underestimating the power of the longbow. It's definitely not very decent.
Yeah. He's just farmed every single tower, by the way. Like, the moment a tower goes up, he just kills it.
Oh yeah, Mongols gets resources from that, right?
Yeah. But I mean, he's just kill it with no contesting, because you cannot defend this tower as English. You can defend this, because your army is here, but you cannot defend that. Or, if you put tower here now, you can't defend it, he's just gonna go kill it.
Look at my trade.
I mean, you have a lot of gold. Or, sorry, a lot of food. This is enough food for Imperial.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just producing units at that point.
Like right now...
Oh, that's my next question. Do I get King's Palace to stay ahead?
So, this should never be your tactic, but I've won games where I went like 2 markets and I traded with like, I don't know, like Delhi, like something random that doesn't usually trade, because trading is the fastest boom basically. Yeah. So if you're like, oh fuck, I'm so far behind, you might as well try it. It's better to do this than to add 2 TCs.
Yeah.
So if you're already doing this, what I would do is I would actually add a white tower here to, and then wall this, and you're semi-protecting your trade as well with that. And then I would just keep trading, and I would probably go fast imp. I would put like a metric crap ton of villagers on gold, and with this food income you can go super fast imp. And you can go like Berkshire, or you know, you can do a lot of things. Like, one thing to note is these are his woodlines. So you could, if you go Berkshire, like if you can manage to put a Berkshire like here, and then you can deny the trade from there, that'd be really good. But it's kind of too late for King's Palace. If you aged up 10 minutes ago, King's Palace would be the good choice. But now it's like, you're 93 workers and you're making double trade, so you don't need more workers.
You're right. I didn't even think about
it. It would be a lot better to make a white tower, make a mangono against this.
Oh, that's okay.
So,
because I never know when to answer the question of when do I go white tower versus King's Palace. But I think what you just said there, I tried to deny him by propping that thing down. So
I mean, this game, like I said, it should be over a long time ago. You did fine, like, macroing and making units back. But, yeah, this should never be, even, like, remotely close. Yeah.
Oh, this guy was home too, by the way. Yeah. So I'm really proud of myself for surviving.
I did well, like I said. Bro,
These
what is with the
fucking
wolves? Holy shit. Another one? That's the third one, damn. And he just goes back! It kills one, he's like, yeah, that's it. Okay, so I want to show you something quickly. This is going to be a quick in and out. I want to show you my game I played earlier. Against the guy who was...
Why are you called Worm?
Because remember the charisma of a worm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So let me show you this. So this guy is Conk 3 or 2, but he's either Conk 2 or barely Conk 3. I'm not actually sure. Big Man John. So he got butchered, but I'm going to show you his army movement, which was actually good. Like everyone, I feel like when you're low Conk 3, you're doing something right, but most of the time you're probably doing most things okay, and some things very wrong, right? But this is the one thing he got really right. I'll show you this quickly. So his economy management was too YOLO, right? His choice of strat. This game also shows why you don't go council hole 1 PC as you go up. Because the higher you go, the players will know to just make units. And pretty much every civ in the game has better eco than you, compared to English. So the higher you go, the whole making units and attacking, every other civ will have more units. So you need to actually micro a lot better. So if your micro is like the best thing you're doing, like a 10 out of 10, you can still do this build because then you can out micro your opponent. But if it's not, then you're gonna struggle. So look what he does. He pushes in. He sees the stable. He goes back. It's a very good decision. He didn't poke. He didn't go, I'll just hit this. He goes back. It's a very good decision. He got spearmen. He's producing spearmen. But look how he's moving his army. He's still pushing. Look, he's poking. Spearman is arriving. He knows that I can't engage into that. So he just did half my cavalry damage just from that. And now he's pushing again. But he's not really pushing. If he doesn't do this, do you know what happens? I go and I kill his villagers here and I kill his villagers here. So instead of sitting in base defending, what higher level players do, they push out in order to defend themselves against cavalry. Because now I can't, if I want to go around, I have to go all the way around. And he can just push into my gold and berries, which is obviously forward. So, look what he does. He's just poking and he's checking with his scout. And I know what, and the moment this started happening, this little dance, I was like, oh, he knows how to move his army. Because this is how you move your army as English. Look at that, he's just standing there. But this is way more threatening than, look, I'm trying to go around, but I see his army still there. And if I commit, he's just gonna commit here and fuck up my whole eco. So I'm still poking, I haven't touched these units, and 2 of my horses are low HP. So now I want to fight because my longbows are here. And then he instantly goes back. The moment my longbows got out. He has 5 spearmen. Maybe he felt he doesn't have enough spearmen, I'm not sure, but he goes back. And I'm trying to find him. More damage, he goes back. And now we're in this limbo where I'm stuck making units. And he's making units. But
You're Byzantine.
He's getting a longbow mass, right? And in a normal game, against a worse player, he would have won doing this. Because I'm stuck in feudal and making units. But again, Byzantine has a lot better eco than English. So even though right now the game is equal, you will see very soon the economy, like I'll have way more units, right? But again, he's doing the right thing. Look at this. He's constantly scouting. He's seeing that my army is there. He goes in again. I see his scout. I go in. He's right there. He's constantly there. Look, he's trying to find my horses. You see that? He's not trying to push. He's trying to find my horses. He sees this. Look, he goes back. He doesn't know where I am. Right? He's keeping his army there. And I find an opening. And the moment he makes that mistake, you know what his mistake was? He lost track of my horses for like 10 seconds. And now he's going to lose 4 villagers here. And that's it. The damages are done. And then he fucks up with the scouts because he got caught off guard. And now this is a position you don't want to be in. because now I'm around his base. Now I'm harassing.
You're the one harassing, yeah. And now you have all this mass that can actually.
Yeah. So he split up his units. He actually defended this pretty well. He walled this, and he killed my Horvin. So that was good defense. But now, if you look at the economy count, the game is... This is what I mean with earlier with your Mongol game. This is the equivalent... Me killing 4 villagers is equivalent to you losing your army. The game is over. Dude, I have to Omega blunder to lose this game. So now I'm trying to fight him, because I have 15 longbows. He doesn't have farms, so he's going on deer.
Do you see it?
Huh? No, I didn't see that. So now I go back, and I am almost at castle. And because he's lost villagers, he can't just sit back. He has to do something. So he's trying to push. Obviously, like if you compare the armies now, the push is not going to work and lose the game. But he did a very good job moving his army around. Just his eco transition and everything didn't work. And again, he is also the Conqueror 3 where he should probably learn Abbey, because this is why Abbey is not played as much at the top level. If you don't because if you overextend against English, you're gonna, get caught and you're gonna get wrecked and lose. This one or the Abbasid one? I forget.
No, the Abbasid. I blundered a bit here too, but I don't know. The Rus one wouldn't matter. He was way, way above me.
Okay. But it's the same way with Council Hall. It's like if the opponent gets one betting gate, they just lose the game, because then you cannot overcome the longbow mass and you just get absolutely wrecked.
So,
by the way, guys, she's yawning. I am not forcing her to be here, okay?
Yeah,
this
she's
was
just
her
very
idea.
tired. I don't know what just happened. I just feel like I instantly got nap time.
It's okay.
So, I've been... Okay, so this is another thing I've been testing out.
This build ain't it.
Okay, listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Marino does the 8-2. Why is it bad? So this was me experimenting with that.
He is just... Do you know why? Do you know what the difference is between 8-2 and 7-3, or 8-4 or whatever? It's how many villagers you want to leave on the go.
Yeah, I figured with the 2, you just have less idle time moving them back and forth.
It depends what you go for. If I stay in feudal, I leave 3 because I want upgrades. I want double broadaxe and I want wheelbarrow as fast as possible. If you leave 2, you have slightly more resources, but your upgrades will be slightly later.
Okay. I was going to pull all of mine off of gold. Because I just wanted to outmass.
Then technically doing 1-9 would be the best, but you probably need minimum of 2 when you have 400, 200. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if it was possible for you to put 1 and then gather food, 1 would be the best, because then you only need to move 1 back.
But from what you're saying, it already sounds like I should go...
If you want to pull away, you can do 2, yeah.
Okay, so if I'm going for 2 DC or whatever. Okay, then the next thing I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the Abbasids I play against, they go 2 DC. Do I also go for the King 2 DC to match it?
Yeah, but I would push right after that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because if you force Abbasid to stay in feudal, that's good for you.
Yeah.
So if you go 2 TC and he goes 2 TC and you both age up, you can play that with King's Palace as well. Mm-hmm. That's also fine. Like with making 0 units, you just go King. Which is another reason why I feel like English is probably good in this matchup. Because if you go 2 TC, he goes 2 TC, and he stops, you can age up with King's Palace. You have another TC.
Yeah.
And then you can go Knights, or you can go a lot of things. You can do whatever fuck you want. But if he goes 3 TC and you go 2 TC, you can push him right after. And you can force him along feudal. You do some damage, and then you go King's Palace. And then you're still equal, but you probably did some damage. So.
Okay. Because I have no idea how to play this matchup. That's why I'm asking questions. I have questions ready about the matchup.
So this is the same. What he's doing here is the same thing you just asked me. He's putting. You know why he's putting 4-4? Because these 4-5 are not going to remain on food. These 5 are going to go on wood. These 4 are going to remain on food. So instead of him moving them back, he's just putting 4. So it's the same concept here. 5. You need a proper build. Cutie Patootie has one on YouTube.
Who's that?
He's a very good streamer.
Okay, but now I'm not gonna go for that. I'm gonna.
So why did you pull off gold?
Because I just wanted to get a mass out. I wanted to test it. Because I remember talking about this on my stream. when you're just dealing with outmassing units and taking them down, it's just faster to take all of gold and put everything on wood. That's kind of what I wanted to do.
Yeah. You're more all in, but yeah.
Yeah. This was supposed to be an all-in. And it didn't go well. That's why.
And he's playing it super safe with the horseman. So this one horseman messes you up pretty badly. So he played this safe because he probably saw that you're not mining gold.
Yeah.
And again, this is what... So that kind of thing that you just said works in lower leagues where it's like, oh, if I hit him 15 seconds faster, he's going to get fucked up. And if he was lower, he would probably skip the stables. And you would arrive and it'd be fucking awkward and you're here and you're shooting at the villagers.
Yeah.
But he made one decision, which is to make stables, and he fucked up your whole push. And now this is over.
Yeah, okay.
Like now you can add 2 TC and you're still dead. Because he can actually... what he should do from this point on is add 2 archer ranges and just push you and kill you with horseman archers. So this is why these builds went out of fashion. Because people just gotta learn how to play against them.
Yep, I can see it definitely working at the lower ranks. But
Yeah.
I see the, like, I've tested this in English versus English as well. Leaving the boys on gold and versus removing them. If you remove them, you have so many more longbows at the start.
And then later you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think if you just hold back and survive, it already pays for itself.
Yeah.
So yeah. I drank decaf coffee. And I don't know if that's what's messing me up.
Probably. You're gonna have a very rough time if you're trying to get off caffeine.
Yo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get off caffeine. I feel like I have to. Might be awesome.
So now all he needs to do is actually just... This is why he's making TC on the wood line. He just needs to not die. And there's nowhere you can push it. The window is closed. Another thing, the meta back in the day used to be like second TC on deer. Right? So you catch a fucking noob building a TC and fuck him up, or like even if you don't, you know, you can pick off villager, but people put TCs on woodline. In every matchup. Doesn't matter what the matchup is or what save they're playing. If they see you're going giga aggro, like full all in, they just put TC next to their TC and then it's like, what are you gonna do?
That's exactly it. That's why, like, I don't even know what the mindset is in this matchup, but now you've explained it to
If
me.
he is gold forward, like he's doing everything correct. Obviously this was bad. He should just make... I don't know why he made this either. I guess he's gonna make a market. This is completely unnecessary.
Okay.
So I can tell you this guy is not high Conqueror.
No, he's Conk 2-ish.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what rank he was, but this is... You don't do this. So this should have been another stable and another 1 to archer range. Just mass units. He will... You're producing from barracks and council hall. He's producing cheaper villagers. He's on 2 TC economy. He has 10% gathering.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you had eco upgrades, he had 0. He's still gathering same amount as you. Well, except he has 2 TCs. And all he needs to do is literally just make like 15 horses and 20 archers, and he can go outside. Not only kill your army, but just kill everything on the way to your base.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, because I was, at this point, I was just like, I'm dead. I knew I was dead. So you can say I put 8 on gold from here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to Dark Castle. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, from here, there's nothing good that you can do. Like, you can try something like weird or something, but... another thing that people used to do back in the days, Abbasids, is like, oh, I defended, let me age up. But people figured out, like, I can just attack as Abbasid, you know, it's a crazy concept, but I can just actually kill the opponent.
And it's been working.
Which people didn't used to do. People always like, oh, I should wall here and shit, and it's like, people figured out, no, I can just go horseman archer and just literally just go for it.
Okay, so now, as you can see, I'm trying to pull some
even if you win
shit.
this fight, it's probably over. Yeah. It's just the economy difference is now like like look at this. It's already like 200 food extra, 250 wood. You have more gold because he's not mining, but yeah.
Okay, that was actually very helpful.
Stop! He's already dead. Okay, do you want me to show you a quick build? Why is the game... Why is it not ending?
They just want it to be...
Okay, so do you want to see a build with 2 TC into King or 1 TC King aggression?
Let's do 2 TC. So I watched one of your games and I saw how you rallied them, and I actually tried that. I think in my final game on this account, I tried that and it was so good. You get the stone.
Stop!
You're aging up and you're ready to plop down the second TC. It's wild because I always made it incorrectly. It's been amazing.
Making me blush.
Ah.
Okay, so. Okay. So the English 2TC is probably Worm. Is one of the nicest 2TC builds to do.
Did you just like randomly Worm?
Worm. That's a good name, Worm. So you just do this as normal, nothing crazy. I like to kill 3 sheep.
Yeah, I can see why, because it's so buggy. I know in the one patch they said, yeah, now villagers will go to the closest sheep, not the dead sheep, and gather around it.
It's not even that. You don't want 5 on 1. You want this. Like this is a good split.
Okay.
I'll just go like right now. Look at the drop off. Nobody's getting stuck on anything.
Okay. So that's my first piece of homework.
Like a lot of people underestimate that, but it's quite big. You get a lot of value from then not having. By the way, if I had 1 or 2 more villagers on this, they would do this, like go around. And also you want to avoid like what's it called? You want to avoid 5 villagers hitting the same sheep with the. It's not a lot, but it's like you're not doing anything anyway, so you just do it. So, right here is where would you put your TC if you're going fast castle? In this game. This is my base. This is what you see.
2 choices for me. One would be on the gold, like over there. I would either put it above or under. But then also the woodline's pretty juicy if I'm going to DC and not necessarily fast castle, but staying in feudal and fighting on 2.
So because this is easy wall here, I would easy wall this. I would easy wall eventually this. I would put second TC here. If you're fighting aggression, like I'm talking French is going full baboon 1 TC, I would just put my TC here.
Yeah, because by the time the night comes, your TC is finished.
Yeah, and then the same thing. I don't need to gather gold. I can just make longbows and wait, and then fuck him up after. So, I'm used to 3 on gold. You can do 3 on gold.
Okay.
And, so you just put this where you're not gonna...
Oh, you only do this too. Okay.
So... You need 5 on stone immediately. Okay. So you age up with 2. And then what you do is you can put... Just make sure the wood villagers are spread out. Okay? That's very important. Because you don't... You'll see why in a second. Once I age up.
I've been doing that. But not because I knew why. I was just like seeing that you did it, and I was like, oh, he probably does this for a reason.
So 5 on stone, doesn't matter what the opponent is. 5 will get you enough stone before anything arrives.
Okay.
Abbasid, military wing, knights, whatever.
Okay.
So now, listen to this. This is very important. This is a small tip, but it's a big tip. Do you know which tree to chop last?
No?
The tree you're gonna make the TC towards to. So this is the tree. This is where I'm gonna make TC. This is the tree I don't want to chop, or don't wanna, you know, get it last if possible. Again, it's a small thing, but once you get used to it, you don't think about it. So also you have to think these 5 are gonna have to chop too. The 5 on stone. Okay. So you want to put these 5 from stone to the tree closest to them. So for example, if my gold was, let's say, somewhere else, you want to leave either this wood or this wood open for these guys to go, because I don't want to send them here. That's too far. So you want to send them to the closest wood as well. You're gonna make a house?
Do we make a house there though?
Yeah, you can like you can make it here too.
Okay, I was just wondering because they're kind of out there and the house might get burned down.
Ah, you have a king. King will kill anything.
That's true.
Okay. So look how the timing works out.
So those boys are gonna do a little bit of long distance to kill survive. Oh.
There's enough wood for TC and a lumber camp.
Really? Oh shit. Okay.
So if I put like 1 or 2 extra workers here, I could have gotten a TC a bit faster. But you also want to make sure you have enough.
But if I'm playing against Beastyqt, will the military wouldn't be there already?
I mean, Beastyqt, if they go military thing, I feel like that's probably good for you. Especially in the current meta. But you'll have a king out. If, like, if you're worried about military wing, you can just make it here. Like, against Beastyqt, it's not that important. It's more so just to continue, like if I'm going fast castle, just to immediately do this. Now, hold on, I can't pause. Okay, now what transition do you want? Fast castle or what?
Well, fast castle is fine, but I think in this case there's to stay aggression.
Okay, so now you want to make sure you're gathering gold, but you don't want to over gather, so we're going to do this. Now, if you're doing fast aggression, I would probably not put TC there.
Really?
So, you know, yeah, because look, now my villagers have to run from there to there, and now this rally is going to be all the way there.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, so if you're going to do aggression, I did this for fast castle. If you're going to do aggression, I would just put the TC like here even, just to cover both woodlands.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because of the rally point, which is quite big. Like this is like idle time, right? So you have 15 seconds of idle time every time. And you put 4 and 5 on gold because you wanna immediately start getting units and upgrades and everything else. And from this point on, you can just rally 1 TC on wood, 1 TC on food, because you want to. You need 8 just for villagers, right? So you need to make units still. And now during this whole time, you want to be harassing it, because if you don't harass with king, it's kind of wasted. You want to get double broadaxe.
Is double broadaxe more important than broadaxe?
Yeah, because you have a lot more workers and your villagers are under this. So you're not moving. So now, if the Beastyqt is like not doing anything, or they're going 3rd TC, you just go for it immediately. You just start rallying across. Now, depending how many sheep you have, I have 7 sheep remaining. So now you're gonna start, what's it called? Now you're gonna start floating wood. And you kind of need to transition. You just start adding farms.
What is the white tile go if you were going fast castle?
So if I was going fast gas, I'll just. So okay, from here on out, just do this. Okay. And you have to macro like pretty well, so you have everything sorted. And depending how many farms you make, or how fast you make them, depends on how many sheep you have. So I'm getting wheelbarrow. I'm still adding stuff. This is probably a good amount to produce units. So now you can go double wood, and now you can crank up the longbow production, or just make more buildings, or start walling, or whatever else. So you can see how smooth the eco is, and the whole time you're producing and you're pushing across, you're poking. And again, if you start making units, you gotta adjust according to that. You can either be like, oh, he's Omega committing, I'll just transition to something else. So now you can just, you can even add like a second mill, because my sheep are expiring. So you can add a second mill, start getting these. When I get horticulture, you can get specialized pick as well, because why not? So now, if this was a normal game, right? Let's say I was rushing castle. This is how, not economy, but this is how my base would look like. You could also, by the way, go 2nd TC here. Or you could even do something like, if you're feeling, I would say you need to be a bit more experienced with that. But I would probably, if this was a, pro match, I would probably go for 2nd TC here and get the deer.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
But, let's say, let's say I'm going for castle rush of some sorts, like you mentioned. So if you do this wall, this farming is very safe, this farming is very safe. I get more. So if you do this, you can do something like this where you can even delete that. Like even doing this. So now I would put white tower here. This white tower defends not only like gold, it defends the farms. This is walled, so you'll have longbows, and then this is, everything is protected. And then if the, let's say this is the white tower, right? You can also like do farms here. You can do farms here. You can do farms here next to the TC. All that is there. So white tower, you usually wanna cover the gold and the food. The reason for that is you don't need wood. Like if you age up and your opponent's attacking, you're like, oh shit, I'm dying. You can just make men at arms or knights with gold and food. But if you get cut off gold, you age up and then you make longbows unupgraded, which is like, what's the point? So yeah. And then after that, you just make farms around it, and you just spam units. In the other thing, which I'll quickly go through that, the build where you go for king into aggression, which is probably a, like if you have multitasking, it's probably a better version of the council hall, I would say, just because some civs like French, they will have knights so they can push away your king, but still they're open to harassment, so they might have to make a tower or something. But if you're playing against Abbasid can't make knights, they kind of have to have spears, right? So that kind of complicates it a little bit for them. Some civs have to like make a barracks, and if they make a barracks then you go longbow, that's really good for you. So
sheep are like on vacation.
yeah, one always goes around. I don't know why that. Yeah. So usually I make a house here, but if you're like going to TC, then I'm not like, that's something you should be careful. If you're planning to go to TC, right? Don't do this. Because
your second TC might be there.
Right. So realistically you would put your second TC there, which means you would want to put farms here. So if you put a house there, you just fuck it up. So that's something you should immediately try to see, like where's your second TC gonna be. Like here, there's one wood line, right? So here what I'm thinking is like this should be some kind of wall there, right? So second TC could even be on this side, potentially, to kind of semi-cover the wood line or something. So you kind of want to make sure, you kind of want to like start pre-planning. So it's like, sometimes they even do this. When I'm playing, I'm like, okay, if I put this here and this here, I can put TC right there, destroy the mining camp, and then I have 2 full set of farms in between the TCs, which is really good. And then after, you can even put white tower here, here, or here.
Okay, question. But this is gonna be a build with 1 TC king, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I killed it. This is still fine, but I think another villager might not be able to gather. So also don't try to kill too many sheep on the same spot. So the 1 TC king build is not that much different to what you're used to, I think. Which you'll see in a second.
Except I have a king early.
And also if you build Abbey, you don't need to build it here, but you know, don't build it here or here or here. Always build it in front. So this is the good part about going this build. You don't need to chop these trees, you can just go immediately on the thing. Now you can age up with 4. I like to age up with 3 if I'm not doing some like immediate pressure. And you can just put them back on food so you can have army production. Because you're not instantly making army, so you don't need 6 on food. You literally don't have a building for it. So you can do that a bit more chill. So you can already start planning where you're gonna put what. So I can go like this. Right, so I'm gonna get my wheelbarrow soon. And by the time he kind of the idea is by the time he like sorts the king harassment and like there's a wall here and there, you are then pushing with an actual army. So,
but I don't do English 1 TC against Abbasid if he's going to TC. I also go to TC. Do you think you can still do?
You should do your build. It doesn't matter what your opponent is doing. The build is decided like before you start aging up. You can't be like, oh, he's going to TC. Let me go to TC. Don't do that.
Okay.
You're either going to TC or you're going 1 TC and just make it work. Because if you're playing dependent on your opponent, then you're always behind to what he's doing. You're always gonna start mining stone later than he is. So it's not as good. You also want to age up with that for 2 TC with 2, not 3. So if this is your plan, then stick with it. So right now, let's say I'm playing... What save do you want me to be playing against?
Itchery.
This is really good. Thank you.
I would go for longbows here. Longbows because he's not going to make horsemen against king. He's either not going to make units or he's going to make spearmen. If he makes no units, then I go longbow. If he makes some spearmen, then I go longbow. Then I'm scouting. If he's rushing to castle, I just make either blacksmith and I go siege engineering, or I make another archer range and I push into his gold. You don't need to make barracks if there's nothing to make barracks against. So don't blindly like barracks archer range. Always know what the opponent is doing. Now I can already produce longbows. I'm getting my eco upgrades. So let's say now he's making stables. I make barracks. You can already start pushing. At 505 you're pushing out. You have longbows already. So if he has 1 tower, right? If he has like a tower here, then you can just go around with 1 longbow and that's it. And now we're already doing the pushing. Again, same thing with sheep. Where's my scout? Same thing. If I have like 3 sheep here remaining, then I should slowly start adding farms. Don't wait until they run out. And then you just start pushing. So this is like very... It's basically a council hall, but in my opinion it's a lot better because the king allows you to do a lot of stuff and it forces your opponent to play like a certain way. Because even if he goes horseman, by the way, let's say he opens horseman, the king can do a lot of damage to horsemen so that your longbows can run or kite or whatever.
And if I'm playing against English, I just try to pop a council hall and start making longbows as well, because you just take fights and heal back up and make more fights.
So I have played some Abbey against English. If you don't lose your king, you will 100% get value. Eventually you're gonna start killing villagers. But you want to immediately start producing longbows because you don't want to fall behind too much. He's never gonna make spears, he's always just gonna make longbows. So this economy already is very good, and you're gonna have more and more consistent production now. So initially you're not gonna have to constantly produce anything, you won't have resources, but now that eco upgrades are in, you're gonna be able to just produce. And in a second, if you're going giga all in, right, let's say I'm playing in Chari and he's making spearman horseman or something, then I'm not gonna keep mining gold forever.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna do the MA switch.
So you can just stop mining at 250.
Holy shit. Just so you can get +1 and +1.
Yeah. So now you can just go like this, go here.
You have horticulture and everything already.
Yeah. And now you're just printing units. And obviously the advantage of English is your economy is not the greatest in terms of like income, but now your resources are all in your base, and he's eventually gonna run out of resources. So if you look at even this, see the building planning, it's like as close as possible.
Your feng shui is good.
Thank you. So yeah. From here on out, by the way,
Yeah.
let me show you something. This is one thing that a lot of people get very wrong when they play. So let's say this is a little bit later, and this is the situation. So let's say I did some damage, right? I killed like 10 villagers. But I can't push anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's got too much army, or maybe I just don't want to risk it. Let's say I got blacksmith upgrades, right? So let's just assume I have no gold, like this.
Yeah.
This is what you do. Like, don't be afraid to do that if you want to age up fast. Because a lot of people are like, oh, but if you move, you're not going to have for unit production. But you already have a lead, so you don't need to produce villagers immediately. And once you do this, right, you're going to start catching up with gold. And then you can just re-rally to this. You can get men-at-arms upgrade. You can even get another barracks, right? So your whole goal is to age up as fast as possible, and then you go triple barracks, men-at-arms. You don't need wood anymore.
Question.
Uh-huh.
If I'm aging up like that, let's say I do have the unit advantage. Am I trying to get further ahead by going King's Palace, or am I going White Tower to produce?
If you're gonna die very soon, then probably go White Tower.
Yeah.
If you're like, I've killed 50 villagers, but I lost my whole army, then go White Tower.
Okay.
If you're like chilling and you're going back like this, you just go back. You don't bold. You know, panic. You wanna. The important thing is don't do this either.
Yeah. Of course not. Because then you don't have gold for upgrades.
Then it's like, yeah, why the fuck did you age up? And I see people do this all the time. It's like, what's the point of aging up? You're just telling your opponent, come here and kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
So just either do it with like less or pull some off of, like this. There's no point aging up with 20 and then you're like, huh? What do I do here? But so you still want to have some. Obviously, I want to have some on wood so I can make more farms or whatever. But as you're aging up, you want to have like almost half, like 50% food, 40% gold kind of thing, so that you can make men-at-arms. And you can already start making them. And then when you hit age up, you can just upgrade it. And now you use your units to defend. You're chilling.
So,
And then you can rally one on wood, one on gold, and whenever you have like enough wood, you just make 8 more farms. And you can just make crossbow men-at-arm. Most of the time with these kinds of things, if I have 7 longbows, it is not worth to keep making longbows because you're gonna need economy upgrades which cost wood, you're gonna need farms that cost wood, you're gonna need fucking blacksmith upgrades that cost wood, so now you can insta upgrade. If you have like 10 plus longbows, you can upgrade longbows too. If you don't, just skip that. Just get this.
we're just going full men-at-arms.
And now your economy is all done. And again, if you have enough, you can even do this. If you have 16 on gold is plenty, so I can just double rally onto the wood line. Start doing this.
Let's just get further ahead.
So now you don't need to move. The game is over. Now he's gonna attack you, and they usually suicide their army. And now you're just getting further and further ahead. And it doesn't matter what they do. If they attack you, you can't really kill English at this point. If you have army, you can get... I mean, I don't have blacksmith, but I could get +2 ranged armor or something. Oh, I got this too. You can do a bunch of stuff. You can get eco upgrades, which is always good.
Armor clad or +2?
It depends how many units you got.
Yeah, but let's say I have a bunch of men-at-arms. Would I rather invest in getting me +2? If I only have that set amount of gold, what am I prioritizing?
Give me a number on units.
15 men-at-arms.
And longbows?
10.
I would probably just... If his army... Like, if he's pushing, I would probably... I mean, you can get both. I prefer to get longbow damage if you're gonna continue making longbows, though. If you're not gonna make longbows, just go men-at-arms. Like, right now I'm not making longbows, so I would even probably prioritize +1 melee attack in this situation. Yeah, because I'm making full men-at-arms now. You can get the other eco upgrades now, and gold is spent very easily. Like, you might think like 16 on gold is too many. It's not. I don't even have blacksmith, and I don't even have monastery yet. Which is another reason you don't want to continuously produce longbows forever, because you kind of want to get monastery and get the relics and all that shit.
You're giving me a very different viewpoint on like what I need to do. It's good.
Yeah, and now your eco is insane. He doesn't have an army to contest this, and now you just fucked him out.
Oh, he doesn't exist.
Hmm?
He doesn't exist. Otherwise, you.
And the best part is you don't need like a lot of units. Like in this situation, this is the setup you need. Wall behind your base. You rally units here. This is your garrison. This is your garrison. Where's he gonna push? Best he can do is like maybe push through here, but you can just move downwards and intercept with the army. So you're kind of protected, and your next gold is right here. So you can just have our gold, and again you're safe. And at this point, by the way, if you're playing against Knight Civ, if you aged up first, you can just go meta on crossbow.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
If you go spear, a lot of people make the mistake of going spearman crossbow. You're over committing, and then the crossbows will, or his archers will actually kill everything you got.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, but if you go meta on crossbow, then the crossbows will kill the knights. He has to go crossbow then. And then if you mix in spearman, then it becomes really weird. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll then try to play this early game that you showed me, and then once I get to a point where I'm like, okay, what do I do in the late game now? I'll ask you for the next steps, because I don't want to overload myself.
The hardest part will be micring the king while doing this.
Yeah, I know.
Because at top level, you cannot kill the king. And it's very fucking annoying, because it's like, it's just one unit, and he got it for free. And now I have to fucking wall and put spearmen and put knights. Even a knight doesn't kill it. If he puts a knight in his base on my king, you can just run it back home. And it's not gonna die.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very annoying, to say the least.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
What about securing the second goal? Well, you have your whole army. So you're
just
right
walk
there. Just secure it, brother. It's not free. It is.
If you didn't lose too many of your units, yeah.
King is very much free. You age up and you get it for free. Unless you lose it, then it's not free, yeah. But just don't lose it for it. So, yeah, and when you have a king, the easiest thing to attack is gold. Okay. Always. Like, even if it's English versus English. Attack gold, go around, and just wait for him to move as long as you just hit gold again.
Okay.
And eventually, when they chop through the wood, hit wood. If they are like Knight Civ, you can harass boar, gold, deer. And again, that king will make them have to make a tower. If you played longbow spearman, he won't make a tower. But now he has to make a tower. So now that's that's half night less. Plus the build time, it's like 60% of the night you just invested. So the Abbasid military wing is also free.
It is.
The units are free, yeah. The age up is not. But the units that come out of it are free, which is why Ayubid was so strong, is because you get a fucking free desert trader to harass. That's why English Abbey got nerfed, because it was too strong.
It was very strong.
Yeah, and this is why also 2TC English is so strong, because you go 2TC and they have to defend, and you're not even attacking technically. So.
Okay.
That's why I feel like when you go to TC English, I feel like you're always ahead because of that situation. And when that's the case, then it's like you can do damage, but your opponent can't really do damage to you because they need to make units. And if you see them making units, you can also make units. So yeah,
I'll take this into practice.
So
let me do this with English first for a while, and then we'll talk about HRA and the others.
Yeah, just stick with English for like a week. Just play it, try it out.
And then try to see if I can transcend the knowledge into HRA.
You can also, by the way, you need to, like, the stuff that I taught you is like the stuff that's like basic. I can't teach you these things when you're gold.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even know how to make a villager, right? So these are not the things. I would even say just play English only. You need to learn how to move your army better and how to understand the map better. You don't need to play different civs. It's not needed. So I would say learn how to use your cavalry better, whether that's horseman or king.
That's my
You know.
That's my number one homework.
Yeah.
cavalry.
So I think once you do all that, and once you get higher with English, playing other civs is... You'll see the higher you go, you will realize different civs are not that more difficult to play. It's just
knowing
you're
the game.
using different ways to get to the same point, kind of thing. So
that's like my weakness. Me and any cavalry. God. You need to eventually show me how to do the charge thing that they do, like to do short distance charge. But I'm not there yet. I need to not run them into a TC.
That's
so
a deal.
You
just don't think of it as a scout, because then you'll run it into your TC or their TC.
You should have seen Voldemort trying to teach me French. He's like, no, don't run into the woodland. You're gonna lose the knight. I'm like, no, I'm gonna kill a villager.
Like, it's fine, bro.
It's fine. Yeah. I lost all his hair, but he's really good.
It happens. It happens. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this video of episode 1. Technically, it's not episode 1. It's like episode, I don't know what it is.
0.
But that was coaching to Conquer, which she has achieved.
Yeah.
Right?
Now
Achievement successful.
Yes.
Now this is to Conk 3 episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And next time I will have more caffeine in me, so you don't need to see my the whole time.
You know, there was that one guy in the chat's like, bro, let her go. She doesn't want to be there.
Oh my god, this is so bored.
Bro, she's paying me $300 an hour. What do you mean she doesn't want to be here? What? Okay,
yeah,
$400.
Beastyqt charging $300 an hour.
I'm like, yo, pay up!
Let me just get the money from your drawer.
Yo, hey!
There you go.
Okay. Anyway, if you're watching this on the YouTubes, thank you so much for watching. We're going to be doing more of these. I'll give Whamen a couple of days to play this. And then we'll do a recap, because she needs to learn a new build. Try to absorb some of this information.
Absorbing stuff?
Yeah. So once she does that, we'll check those replays, and I'll give her some actual, like, homework. Because this was more like a...
General homework.
General
Homework.
General, right. So if you're watching YouTube, thank you for watching. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going, brothers.